Now, I want to respond to the question that Umbo raised, that is the NDR on course? Now, this issue was raised by the president of the ANC in the last National Executive Committee meeting. So I thought that what is discussed in the NEC ends there. But President, you will forgive me and other members of the NEC, just to respond to this question. It was supposed to end there because the president has asked this important question. And we were not able to respond to that question as the NEC because the meeting was then dominated by an agenda that comes from outside the ANC of saying the president must go. So for the 3 or 4 days or so, we were not able to discuss the political overview, and this issue was also raised. Now I'm saying this, comrades, so that you must know that as you engage, the president of the ANC, in his very short political overview, raised this question and a number of them. So when the ANC could not respond to this question, and my response was just to help the president, because we're in the presidency. For me, it's yes and no. For me, it's yes and no. Yes, because we have achieved a lot of things that we said we want to achieve, but we know that not everything has been achieved. No, it's because in the ANC, and I'm saying this because I'm told that President Oliver Tambo of the ANC once said that the enemy of the ANC is the ANC itself. No, because the ANC has been infiltrated. There are people, in my view and our view, as the Youth League, who are in the leadership of the ANC and reporting elsewhere, handled by capital developers. Now the challenge for us becomes, as the Youth League, as our generation, to cleanse the ANC. This is the 1948 moment for the current generation. We must tabulate clear things that we want to see happening and take it to next year. Everybody who wants to lead the ANC must do certain things. It can't be a free-for-all. Other leaders of the ANC and deployees, and I can't, because the media is here, say who is that. But I will come to your PGM and tell you, we've got protectors of capital in the ANC leadership. People who have forgotten why did we embark on the revolution or the struggle. People who became very comfortable after 1994 because some of them are driven with nice German cars and actually delayed the revolution. So it's a challenge for us as the current generation to deal with that particular issue. So the no pardon move is then that there is these elements within the national leadership of the ANC. Comrades, part of the problems of the no is that part of the policies and the laws that passed are anti-transformation, as the African National Congress. I want to take one example, Comrade President Zuma. It's in our resolution of the 54th of our National Congress that we want IPPs. But when you look at who are the drivers of the IPPs and the beneficiaries, it still remains the previously advantaged. We don't get anything. But my biggest problem, because I've spoken to comrades in ESCOM about it, is that IPPs generate electricity during the day, and in the evening, it does not work. It is therefore useless. But the economy has spent since January and now 8 billion rand on the IPPs. people are anti-nuclear because they must benefit from these IPPs. And all of them are white. The problem is the issue I raised that some of us in the ANC represent capital and counter-revolution. Wittingly or unwittingly. But some of us is about ourselves, no more about the people. Comrades, I would not really want to take it very high. I want to be very simple. The biggest problem of the ANC government and our revolution now is the department called Treasury. And I'm not saying an individual, in Treasury. The department called Treasury. Capital has ensured that after 1994, because President Mandela was really in competition with the Holy Spirit. You see, the Holy Spirit is all over. I'm a Christian. I believe that the Holy Spirit can be the only thing that is all over. We accommodated somebody from the previous regime, made him a finance minister. And during that time, what happened is that they took all their people who were in the economic intelligence, took them to finance department. And since from them until today, that's why President Zuma, we were forced last year, and then that's why really? Why really did we bow to that pressure? Last year to reverse an appointment of a minister. And in terms of the constitution that people quote every time when it suits them, you are the only person who's got the authority to appoint and remove ministers. Now last year the ANC, now because there are cameras, I will not tell you what President Zuma told us in the NEC on how that decision was reversed. And all of us, and the revolution was then derailed with another 5 years because your term and ministers ends in 2019. But our biggest problem, Comrade President, is that the patience of the people of South Africa, day by day, is becoming very thin. You know, in 1993, I was very young by then, we composed a song called Mandela, Freedom is in Your Hand. And I asked cooler, but I know when SG can do it. I want us to compose a song as the youth league that says, Jacob Zuma, economic freedom is in your hands. Deliberately composed the song, President, because, and we were told that we are praising us, but I'll come to it later on. I intend to speak for 15 minutes. Because once you get attacked by capital, it means you are touching something that is solely preserved for them in terms of them. Now, President, we want to say that the resolutions of the ANC Youth League of the 24th and 25th, as confirmed by the 25th National Congress, they still remain. We want our land back. We want our minerals. President Zuma, we want nationalization of the Reserve Bank. We are one of the few countries in the world, the bank is owned by a family. And such that it also cannot even defend the rand. You know, this rand, comrade, is very problematic. During the local government elections that we spoke about, when it was said that the ANC is not doing well in metros, the rand gained strength. But when the ANC is winning somewhere else, the rand is depreciating. What is the problem? Who are these people? But the problem is the ANC itself. Because, President, in our view, we are more afraid of the markets and the rating agencies than the masses. We're not afraid of the people of South Africa. We're afraid of these people called the rating agencies and the markets. Now, until we deal with that particular issue, but my solution, Comrade President, and I know your response is going to be that you are still looking at us. The solution to that problem, comrades, is that the ANC must get younger. And that should be reflected, including in its leadership. Successful revolutions in the world, Comrade President, has only and only been led by young people. Even yourself, President, when you joined the NEC of the ANC for the first time in '77, you were still young. You were 35 years. Mandela, Oliver Tambo, all of them, when they engaged in the struggle, they were still young to lead the National Democratic Revolution. Therefore, it's only fair that the current generation must now shape its future. And Frantz Fanon challenges us in that regard. I won't quote him, you know what he says about each generation, whether we fulfill or betray. So I've got confidence in these young people. The other problem, comrade, is that I want to take the SAA, not because you are here, Madam Tutumir. Comrade President, I don't understand. I'm struggling to understand. And there's also a beauty contest between the real executing authority and people who are appointed by the executing authority. Now, because of the media comment, I can't get into details. Now, that SAA has got a budget of 5 billion, but where does it go? 22 years into democracy, where does it go? But the biggest problem is that, comrades, these people who are representing capital in the NEC of the ANC, they want us to privatize SAA and ESCOM so that they must benefit and other SOEs, which is a problem. Our SOEs must not be privatized. But, comrades, the problem remains treasury. And I don't understand President Zuma. Why is SAA financial? Why is it not in transport? Why is it that we are creating a super ministry or a super department? And comrades, I'm not talking about Comrade Pravin Kotana, I'm very clear. I'm talking about the department treasury, because the department is treasury, not Pravin Kotana, so that people must be clear in the meeting. Now, President Zuma, with due respect, we are talking about radical economic transformation. But my problem, President, is that it remains a lip service. We want to see action. When I was coming here, Comrade President, in the morning, I was talking to one of my friends. He's working for an MEC. He says to me, President, we are busy. We are going to give our people food parcels. I hate food parcels. Did we struggle to give our people food parcels? No. Our people want to be the owners of the means of production. But what are we doing as the African National Congress? We can buy our own food, Comrade President. We have got the capacity. But give us the economy. Comrade President, you, South Africa, under your leadership, we are part of BRICS. I don't like flights, but I want to fly to Russia. You know, the actions of President Putin, they are very progressive. So can you please, as I'm saying that, we must compose a song that economic freedom is in your hands. Can you please be a Putin of South Africa? They can do whatever, President, and say a lot of things, but you are here to get to Zuma. You must go through us first, all of us here and those who are not here. What we're asking from you, Comrade President, is economic freedom in our lifetime. And we see that in you. We will be with you. We will come to Nkandla to enforce your to make sure that we improve your security, but take radical steps like Umganwako Puti. The comrade is not doing this. President, I don't care about what happens in other countries, for instance, like in the USA. But the people of that country, they have shown the market. It's not the meeting of the youth league alone. I will not say what I wanted to say, this side, you know, comrades. But they have demonstrated to the market that they are not controlled by the markets. They voted for a president that the markets were not expecting to be president. Can't we take some action that is anti the market in South Africa and see if people will leave? Because we are threatened of this thing called junk status. We are junk status, all of us here. We are beneficiaries of social development and food parcels. Who is going to lose? It's not us. Those who are making noise about it, they're the ones who are going to lose. And I can tell you, President, now that they will not leave South Africa. We have just been threatened. You know, President, I'm sure I'll be very responsible, but I want those actions to be taken so that the rand must fall. If it falls, it must fall. We don't benefit anything as the majority of South Africans from the rand. But when it rises, it must be us in control of the economy. So take the rand. The Congress that has elected me says that the key pillar to economic freedom is education. Because we can't just be like myself and think that we'll play in that field. Education. We are therefore also, President, urging that when we were established in 1944 as the Youth League, we've always spoken about the free education issue. President Oliver Tambo says in one of his writings that a nation that does not educate its youth is doomed to fail. So we can't fail under you, our own routine. People of South Africa are saying that President Mandela has brought us freedom. It's an understanding of the people. So we want you, when you leave, President Zuma, you have done a lot of things, including BRICS and all of that. But can you please, as part of your legacy, give us free education for the poor? There's money in the economy. There's money in the economy. That's why France, and actually before I get that, that's why our role of the state is just to appoint a governor of the Reserve Bank. But the poor governor is not for the people of the country. He must report to France. My last point is that comrades of the Youth League, my second last, you must analyze all ministers of finance in the country. Where are they? Those who are no longer in government, where are they today? Because when we said go and serve us, and level the field for South Africans and young people and women and all of that to play in that space. Let me use the current term. Comrades got to be captured. I don't like the term, but because it's very popular. Comrades got to be captured, and all of them are working there, whether it's Old Mutual and all of that. But the biggest problem, President, is when we correct the Department of Finance. I'm not Tandudolo, I'm not going to say that remove or not. That is your prerogative as the President of the country. I'm not calling for that. But I'm calling for transformation of that department. Because the youth of South Africa, Comrade President, they tell us that we don't eat the history of the ANC. It's very good, rich, but as we speak, I'm going to sleep hungry. What do you do as the African National Congress? It's just like now in January 8, because there's 8% hike in January. When you go back to universities, there's 8%. We are going to be running like headless chickens. But in terms of the economy, President, finance must be transformed. Now, comrades, how are we going to achieve these things that I spoke about, and the chairperson of the Youth League spoke about, the Youth League in KZN spoke about when he spoke to us in the 40 minutes, or do I gave him 10 minutes? Comrades, my view is that unless we do things differently in the movement, we will not be able to achieve economic freedom in our lifetime. For as long as you have leaders in the ANC, others are in the high echelons, I can't mention them because of the media, who encourages our oppressors, our economic oppressors, to do certain things economically to continue to oppress us, we will not achieve that. Now the call that we are making on behalf of the NEC, of the Youth League, is that we must work together with the leadership of the ANC, not work for the leadership of the ANC. We are not instruments. We must work together with the leadership of the ANC to achieve economic freedom in our lifetime, if we are serious. Otherwise, we must forget. And our biggest fear, Comrade President, is that if we don't address the issues of the economy, we will in the next 10 years not be in government. And at least by that time, we will not be president. So Nkanda will not be an issue. The issue would be the economy. So we're appealing that young people must rise to the occasion. And comrades, the nature of young people in the Youth League, you must even make those in the ANC leadership uncomfortable. This is not a bed of roses, it's a revolution. Make the leadership of the ANC to be uncomfortable. Or else, if you are not prepared, because the revolution is not a show called All You Need Is Love. We don't need love. It's about changing the material conditions of our people. We must do that unapologetically. Now, President, the last thing, and I normally say this to the President because I go to his house regularly. Can we have one president in the country, please? Can we have president, because we went to the elections in 2014, and the head of the campaign was President Zuma, and we got 62% of the elections. Now, there are people who are popcorning now, who are also now presidents, who are confused. Who is the president? But the Constitution, I don't have that clause with me here, is very clear about the roles of the president. So we just asking the president of the country to do the right things and be the president